I don't know about Feastables, but I do know about Prime because I was invited to invest in that company that ended up making Prime. And I obviously missed out on a really big opportunity because that was actually an incredible, it would have been incredible.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with a creator-led business. What do you think?
So I've been invited to invest in a few of these, and the only ones that I have invested in, for what it's worth, are the ones where the founder really is, has an actual team themselves and is building this. A perfect example is Grace Beverley. I invested in Tala because Grace she doesn't pretend to be the CEO. Like, she has hired a very competent, excellent CEO called Morgan. But Grace is in that business, and they make those products and they do the things. And so for me, I'm like, there's an authenticity level here. The same way as if, I'd been lucky enough, if I was lucky enough to invest in Gymshark, Ben Francis was actually doing the thing. He obviously became a creator from being an entrepreneur, but, same with Stephen Bartlett, that like the people in Flight Studio, they do make those products. This is a thing. I've also been invited to invest in tons of these businesses from companies like Genflow and whatever. They basically are cookie cutter companies that create products that are exceptionally average, but they can do the production at scale, and they put an influencer's face on it and they go, there's your distribution, and it's kind of like a 50-50 deal. I'm allergic to those deals because I feel like as an entrepreneur, the single most important thing, whether you are a creator or you make a consumer product or you do SaaS for care homes, the most important thing is that you literally, truly, genuinely are ultra passionate and care about your end consumer.
Yeah.
You care about the product, you're solving a problem that you really deeply care about. You could never convince me that someone who has hired a company to mass produce a thing and stick an influencer's face on it is anything other than a marketing scheme.
Yeah.
And all of this is to say, I don't know about Feastables, but I do know about Prime. Yeah. That is exactly what Prime is, because I was invited to invest in that company that ended up making Prime, and I obviously missed out on a really big opportunity because that was actually an incredible, it would have been incredible. However, the reason I didn't do it is because I was just like, this is garbage, guys. Like, you're not trying to create an amazing product. You're just finding a distribution channel, which is really smart. But how high quality can that product genuinely be? And the answer is not. They don't care. It's just a brand, some liquid in a bottle and a face. And I really oppose that stuff. I don't know about Feastables, but I do know about Prime. Yeah. That is exactly what Prime is, because I was invited to invest in that company that ended up making Prime, and I obviously missed out on a really big opportunity because that was actually an incredible, it would have been incredible. However, the reason I didn't do it is because I was just like, this is garbage, guys. Like, you're not trying to create an amazing product. You're just finding a distribution channel, which is really smart. But how high quality can that product genuinely be? And the answer is not. They don't care. It's just a brand, some liquid in a bottle and a face. And I really oppose that stuff.
I think it's like an interesting one, because if you're a startup owner, and like startups historically have been, the stupid phrase from Mark Zuckerberg, which is like move fast and break things, became like a mantra for so many people. It was actually the mantra of Elizabeth Holmes from Theranos. She always quoted it. But I think that, like, as startups, you have a bit of a leeway on the quality of your product. And it's known, if you want to buy a good quality product, I wouldn't say necessarily startups are the place to do it, because they're experimenting, they're shipping fast, they're changing.
Totally.
And so you have that already with the startup business. And you then have the idea of a creator launching it. And often creators, I think, like you say, are either one of two things. There's someone that's authentically building a product because they love it. I would say, for example, you and Heights, like, you are a creator, you have a product. The thing you care about most is the quality of the product. You could grow that business faster, but you don't. And so you then have the other side, which is, like you say, I have a product, I'm now going to team up with loads of influencers and just punt it as far as physically possible for the money. And so I think if you combine the idea that startups are a bit shaky sometimes to buy from, combine that with influencers putting their faces to products, which is very similar to what Prime is, I then go, do I really want to be buying that product for my children to eat and to drink? And that, for me, I'm like, okay, fine. That's two things that I'm already against. And then when we layer on top of that, these specific influencers we're talking about, Logan Paul has the scandal with the NFT thing that he did, which is a massive thing where effectively, like, he released a product that wasn't ready.
And he didn't care about it. You know,
Yeah, he
he's
didn't-
come out. You know, it's come out scandalous because he just didn't really care
Yeah.
the impact it was having on his own audience.
Didn't address it, didn't deal with it properly, didn't refund people properly. And the only reason that he might end up doing it, I think, probably is going to be the public pressure. And so that's the same person we're talking about. And then we did an episode of Mr. Beast recently where we talked about, yeah, they're super impressive people. And I'm not saying I condemn them forever, but there are things they do in their businesses that are a bit shady. You combine all of that with the idea of selling food and drink to kids every day. I'm like, I don't know, I don't buy it.
I think it gets worse.
Yeah.
All of that is true, and all of that to me is a red flag. But the biggest red flag to me is, you know, Gandhi says something along the lines of, you know, enlightenment is when
Quoting
what
Gandhi, here we go.
David Gandhi, though. No, I'm joking. But, you know, when what you think, what you say, and what you do are all in alignment, you will feel happy, enlightened, you know, present, all of the things. Logan Paul, just look at Logan Paul's body and KSI's body.
They're
These
ripped.
two guys are the peak physical condition any man would ever wish to ever in their life get to. You know, they are perfect 10 out of 10 physiques. You only get to a perfect 10 out of 10 physique by being perfect, by having an exceptional diet, by not pumping it full of sugar. There is no Feastable or Prime that has ever touched their lips, frankly, looking at them, right? Like they have like a 0% body fat thing going on.
Yeah, they're not eating this stuff.
They look incredible. Full credit to them. Like they do the work. Like
Yeah.
that is a perfect example of a great mindset, a great attitude, and they deserve their success on their channels. They are obviously highly disciplined, and disciplined people do not have that kind of food. This is the last thing on their diet. And then Mr. Beast has gone from fat to thin as an inspiring health journey of, I was really unhealthy. I let it all get away from me. I'm going to take it back and I'm going to go on a health journey and I'm going to become thin again. Again, don't become thin by eating chocolate bars and energy drinks. And so the biggest issue for me on all of it is just this concept of what they create and what they promote is the antithesis of what they themselves would consume, and it doesn't represent any part of their lifestyle at all. And that to me is just super cynical marketing. Like, how could it look like anything other than a cash grab? There's nothing natural about why they would create those products.